I'm Natasha, and I just got done watching the Once Upon a Time Season 6 mid-finale, and I must talk about it with you guys. How you guys liking my casual look today? There's not a lot of makeup on today. No, I really wasn't feeling myself today, but so many people want this review of the mid-season finale of Once Upon a Time. I feel a little evil. I feel, a little shimmery, and I feel like I need to make a deal. This needs to change. Don't you know, dearie, magic always comes with a price. Let's see, what shall we talk about today? I know I look so sexy right now. But you're just gonna have to put that aside and focus on my review. Let's get just a close-up shot of my makeup job. Oh yeah, so I use this bronzy shimmer liquid pigment stuff, rub that around my face, then stuck a bunch of glitter everywhere. Oh, I also did my hands. This is actually my mom's shirt, and she probably is not going to be very happy that I'm using it in this with makeup on it. Don't you worry, folks. We're about to get into the review. Rumpelstiltskin is not from England. He's from Scotland. I can't do a Scottish accent. I could say Rumpelstiltskin, Robert Slanche. That's it for my Scottishness. I have written 5 million pages of notes. I rewatched almost the entire first half of the season today. Okay, so my thoughts on the first half of season 6 in whole. By the way, we're in season 6. I don't want to be in season 6. That means, I don't know how much longer we're going to have with the show. It makes me sad that it might end in just a few years. We don't have the future ahead of us anymore. We're now coming to the end. The showrunners said that they don't have any plans to end it anytime soon, but I don't know how many more ideas they can come up with for storybook characters. I really can't focus on my words. I just keep looking at myself in the viewfinder. This is going to be difficult. I enjoyed this first half of the season so much. I thought the writing was so good. The character development was just so satisfying. The storytelling and the side characters that were weaved into the plot and all of the tension between Rumpelstiltskin and Belle was just something that I think I craved. I needed all that evil. I needed to see that. I needed to see Belle be strong. That was one of my favorite parts of the whole show, was just seeing Belle's character develop throughout this entire season, because she's always just been just a back character. She's always the one, reading the books and finding out how to defeat the evil villain. But now she was kind of interlaced in the plot. But I do have to say, I didn't feel a lot of passion towards the season. I didn't cry. It was one of the first half seasons that I haven't cried, because in the last 2 seasons I've been so immersed into the romance between Captain Hook and Emma Swan. They're now like a happy married couple. I mean, they're not married yet. I've been so used to that tension and that heartbreak between them that it was nice to see them just be normal. There was a bit of a tension at the beginning of the first half of the season. There wasn't a lot of feels, I think, in the season for me. What I love the show, I love the couple moments between Emma and Hook so much. I live for those. They just have so much chemistry on camera. That's why they're my OTP. I will go down with this ship. And this season was so reminiscent of the first season of Once Upon a Time, and it just made me so happy. It just went back to the roots. They didn't really go into any far off places or in the enchanted forest. They just kind of stayed in Storybrooke and dealt with the stuff that was happening there. I was so happy for all of the snowing feels. Snow and Charming. Oh gosh, it was just like the first season again. Especially the episode where the evil queen puts a sleeping curse on both of them. And they're like, oh yes, just wake him up. True love's kiss will wake him up. But then one is sleeping the entire time while the other is awake. And it was just so heartbreaking and so good. I love it so much. Oh gosh, all the feels for snowing just came out in that episode. Did anyone else really love that plot twist? I thought it was so good. While I was rewatching the episodes, there's so much that I want to talk about in this season. Unfortunately, this can't be an hour-long saga story of a review. I'm gonna hit some of the highlights, and one of the highlights was definitely the snowing episode. There was so much good stuff in this season, and funny enough, I don't have that many notes on Emma and Hook. Regina showed so much grace and compassion in this season. I loved that she cried when she killed the Count of Monte Cristo. There was like this one really precious moment between Snow and Regina, and just Regina and Emma working together. I loved seeing Regina in this hero character fighting off her evil side, the evil queen. And then we had the evil queen, the very interesting side of Regina, the thing that makes her so dynamic. It was so tricky and good, and also nail-biting because you never knew what the evil queen was going to come up with and what she was going to curse people and how she was going to twist things and use things to her advantage. It wasn't very fun to watch Regina become defeated by the evil queen a few times there, but it was fun to see Regina outsmart the evil queen. Regina didn't win. Emma didn't win. Nothing came to a conclusion at the end of the half season. That means our storyline in the first half of the season will continue on to the second half of the season. Aside from the first season, that has never happened before. We always end one storyline and we begin another with new villains and characters in the next season. Now we're just getting down to the characters. Even though we have the land of untold stories and several characters that came into this season, I feel like this next half of the season is just going to be good. It's going to be gritty. Okay, let's talk about the Rumpelstiltskin and Evil Queen affair. Oh, I was so uncomfortable when I was watching that unfold on screen when Regina's like, the tales of untold stories aren't the only ones that played out. No, that doesn't need to play out. I don't want to see this. No. With Rumple having an affair with Regina almost the entire way through the season, we didn't need to see the details. He gave up on Belle. Like, the first episode, he was trying to make Belle fall in love with him again when she was in the dream world. You know, they met their son in the dream world. The little thing with Morpheus is not my favorite thing, how he's grown up and he's come back, so we'll talk about that later. Rumple was really confusing this season. I didn't understand his motives, especially at the end there. He gave up on Belle, yet she was really afraid of him, and he was being so evil and nasty towards her. And then at the end, he just blames Belle for their son being gone. I love to hate Rumple this season. With Rumple, I kind of want to see him be good. Like, I always want to see him be good. I loved it when he was good. It is a lot of fun to see him be evil, but I just don't like that he's evil towards the woman that he loves and who's carrying his child. I don't know the end game with Rumple. I don't know what his character is going to do. Like, he plays so many different characters and he has to be seen in so many different lights. What does he want? What does he truly want? What is he striving for in life? And how is he going to accomplish that? Like, I would be so interested to see, like, what happens to his character at the end of the series. And then we also found out that Rumple's mother is the Black Fairy. That last dream that Belle had, he showed her the Black Fairy and how the Black Fairy is Rumple's mom. I'm wondering if she made the wrong choice to send her son away. That's what he was warning her about, how the Black Fairy was going to take him. So technically, Belle's son's grandparents are the Black Fairy and Peter Pan. Lovely. My favorite season still was the Frozen season. I just thought it was really lighthearted and fun, and I loved Elsa and Anna, and I thought they were so cute and wonderful, and they were like almost main characters, and of course the Snow Queen, I really liked that character. But this season we had Aladdin and Jasmine and Jafar and the Count of Monte Cristo. Cinderella came back, and then Jekyll and Hyde. The show was promoted by Aladdin this season. Eddie Kitsis and Adam Horowitz have always brought different types of storybook characters into the show, whether they be like classical Disney characters. And this season we see like Jekyll and Hyde and the Count of Monte Cristo, which I thought was really weird. They definitely had really small roles. Aladdin and Jasmine had larger roles than everybody else. The Count was in there for one episode. Cinderella had one episode, which happened to be my favorite. And then the Jekyll and Hyde storyline just kind of wrapped up. They captured Jekyll. Hyde was working on a serum, and it turns out that Hyde was actually the evil one. Jekyll was still kind of evil. That was confusing. They only used Jekyll and Hyde for information. Like, they went to each of them for information. Also, Frankenstein came back for like a second. I loved the twist of the characters, how Hyde was the evil one, Aladdin wasn't the brave one, and then Aladdin became the genie, which was so cool. It's like how Rumpelstiltskin is the crocodile in the Peter Pan story. It was really fun to see the evil queen use him for bad, and then Charming use him for good. My favorite episode this season was the Cinderella episode. I loved it, aside from like the snowing episode where the sleeping curse happened and all the feels from season 1 came back. Same with Cinderella. The feels came back. The twist on Cinderella. She was the evil stepsister, kind of, not really. That episode was a lot of fun because we got to see some really cute scenes with Hook. That's probably why it's my favorite episode, just because of Hook. When Ella handed over her daughter to Hook and he was like playing with her with like the little whipped cream on his nose, he was like, boop, boop, boop. I can't do it. That's not what he was doing. It's way more cute than what I just did. And then at the end, Emma asked Hook to move in with him. Oh, let's not forget about that first scene of the opener of the entire season is when they're kissing on the couch. With Emma, she was dealing with the one heavy thing, which was her visions and her shaking hands, and she wasn't able to do magic. I like how they brought Dr. Hopper, Archie Hopper, back into the show and had Emma go to him for advice. Those sessions were a lot of fun to watch and to see Emma open up and to say things that we've all been thinking about her. Is she gonna get a happy ending? Like, she does all this stuff for people and then what? She's gonna be left in the dust? She's not gonna get married and be happy and have children like Cinderella? I'm hoping that's gonna happen. I don't like that she's gonna die in her vision. She can't die. That's not gonna happen. She says, I went and fought for everyone's happy ending, and I don't get mine? Exactly. I don't like that either, Emma. I want you to get your happy ending with Hook and be cute and have gorgeous children, and yes. Even though Regina was super nice this season, she wasn't nice to her sister. Now, I understand Zelena hasn't been my favorite character ever. Never. I hated that she's always a backstabbing nincompoop, but now she has a baby and it's kind of softened her. Regina hurts her feelings for 2 seconds and she moves out and she turns her back on her sister and she sides with the evil queen, who then turns her back on Zelena and tries to kill her. It's an ongoing struggle with those two sisters. I feel like we're not going to see that become resolved, especially now since Robin is going to be back. Pretty sure Zelena's going to be very bitter about that. The season finale wasn't the most epic episode that I have seen of Once Upon a Time. But yeah, I felt a lot of anxiety watching it, especially when the evil queen used a wish on Emma to make her become not the savior anymore, and she became a princess in like a make-believe land. It was a lot of fun. Especially when like Regina goes back and she uses the wish against the evil queen and says, hey, we're the same person, so I get to wish too. And Aladdin's like, yeah, let me do that for you. I can't wait to get rid of this evil bitch. Even though earlier I said it was nice being in Storybrooke, it is a lot of fun going back to the Enchanted Forest. I love the costume. The costumes that the evil queen got to wear in like this season were just glorious, because usually we only get to see evil queen a few times and a few different costumes. This time she had a different costume for every single episode, and her hair was so big. There's this one scene where her hair is like up here. It's like a huge beehive. And then Emma got to wear really pretty dresses, and we got to see Snow and Charming old. I love how Regina's like, oh, you guys are so old. Excuse me, have some respect for the king and queen of the Enchanted Forest. It was exactly like the first season, or the first episode of the first season. Regina comes walking in, slow but fast at the same time, kind of like how James, Victoria, and Laurent came walking into Twilight, into the lives of the Cullen clan. Not the most epic, but definitely the most feels-inducing was just seeing that scene unfold again, but differently, and Emma's there. Did you guys notice that Hook said a Hamilton line? David's telling Hook that the evil queen has done so many things, and my wife is asleep, and Emma's gone, and Regina's gone, and we don't know what's gonna happen. And then Hook goes, we're outgunned, outmanned, outnumbered, outplanned, witchka! Rumpelstiltskin gives them a magical bean. By the way, I had a feeling that Rumpelstiltskin was like gonna drop into the portal with them and come back, so that there would be now 2 versions of Rumple in the real world. Did anyone else think that? I thought he was going to be used differently and not just, you know, make deals and come true on those deals. Of course, they get stopped by Robin. Yay! It's not actually Robin that fell in love with Regina, and his hair is darker. Did anyone else notice that? This Robin is a make-believe Robin. Is Regina gonna bring him back? We saw some scenes of the next episodes that comes back in March. They're kind of having a conversation and starting something new. I don't know if that necessarily means that he's gonna come back to our world. I was wondering about the vision. Like, was the vision going to happen at the mid-season finale? Obviously it didn't, and I kind of thought that. Like, I thought that was gonna be like the finale, or maybe the second episode to the finale. Probably the finale. Same like everything was coming together for that duel. The evil queen comes walking down the street. I forgot, we can kill the evil queen with the sword. That's what kind of started off this whole thing with the wishes and stuff. And someone portals into Granny, and this dark figure starts walking out, and I'm like, Voldemort? The Mentos? I first thought it was Jafar, because Jafar had such a little role in this season. He's like a big actor. That's the guy from The Mummy, and he had like a little tiny role. Was he too expensive or something to have him in more episodes? The figure that walks out turns the evil queen into a cobra, which that's why I thought it was Jafar. Rumple and Belle are kind of rekindling their relationship after he just kind of blamed her for their son being missing. He's like, we could have protected him, but you sent him away. And I'm like, come on, dude. That's the only option that she had. And in walks in their son, all grown up. We didn't see him grow up. It's kind of like another Emma Swan type of deal. So this guy's gonna kill Emma. So this was Charming's wish that came true. Rumpelstiltskin's son come back to kill Emma to get what the evil queen deserves. Does everyone get what they deserve now? Is that what's gonna happen in the next half of the season, that everyone gets what they deserve? I feel like Emma deserves a happy ending and not to be killed. That's it, dearies. That's my season 6 review. Or half of season 6, the first half. Yeah, let me know your favorite parts, your favorite episode. If I didn't get to talk about something in the show, you can talk about it down here in the comments. Oh, also, I thought that Maleficent was gonna come back with her daughter. I hope that happens in the next half of the season. Thank you all for watching. I hope this makeup wasn't too much of a distraction. I'll see you guys all in the future. Keep calm and fangirl on. Goodbye! I can't do it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, I sound like a girl. Rumpelstiltskin, it's time to skip, but kids can pool.